Cars. Today we're going to be working on a quarter panel light and a trunk light for 01 to 05 Honda Civic. And if you want to go ahead and skip to the trunk light, you can click here. Or if you want to learn how to do both, you can keep on watching. So let's get to it. For this, we're going to be using some pretty common household tools. First, we're going to be using a ratchet with a 5/16 or an 8mm socket, also with an extension. And we don't have to use the extension, but I'm going to use it. And also we're going to need a flat tool, either a flathead or a clip remover that looks like this. The taillight's over here, and the way we're going to access it and take it off is it's going to be behind here. And behind here we're going to have to take off this cover, and we don't have to take it off all the way, just enough so that we can pull it down and we can access the bolts that are behind here. And you can see that there's a few clips holding in the cover. Depending on your model car, it might have more clips, or the clips might look different. They might be in different spots, but you're just going to want to take off the top ones to make sure you can fold down the cover so you can reveal the bolts. So we're just going to go ahead, starting with this clip over here. And the way it comes out is it's a two-part clip. It has a middle portion and an outer portion, and we're just going to take out the center first with our flathead. And as soon as that comes out, you can take out the outer portion. And you can kind of see how this works. The center piece right here has a flathead pattern in there, and this goes inside, kind of creating pressure on the tabs for the outer portion. And when you slide it in, it creates pressure so that you can't pull it out as easy. And that's how this clip works. So we're just gonna go ahead and set this on the side. And the next clip is right here, and you can use your hands and kind of pull out from underneath, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use this clip remover. That's also just an alternative, or you could also use your flathead to take it out as well. So a few different ways to take out this clip, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use this. And this clip is pretty easy to break, so you want to be very careful. And you can see this just is a one-part clip. And now we can fold down the cover, and you can see that there's a couple 8mm nuts holding in the tail light. Now before we do the tail light, I want to show you how this plug will come out, and there's a light bulb behind it. And one way the way this plug comes out is just this tab. You want to push down on it, pull out, and then you can get to the light bulb behind it. And you can see the light bulb is locked in, and the way we're going to take it out is we're going to turn it to the left, and it's just going to come out. And you can kind of see how the light bulb works, how it has a few tabs on the sides. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see one tab is bigger than the other 3. And if you want to put the light bulb back in, if you look here in the slot, it has some grooves. One's bigger than the other 3. 3 of them are the same, and the last one's the biggest. And that's corresponding to how the light bulb works, and that's how you're going to want to put this in. So you always want to put the bigger tab in the bigger end, and once you put it in there, spin it to the right, and it locks right back in place. So we're just going to go ahead and leave that in there, and we're going to take our 8mm socket, or a 5/16, and you're going to want to make sure it's kind of deep. You can see here how there's some threading that you're going to have to pass. So if you have a shallow socket, this isn't going to work. Or you could also use a ratchet as well. Sorry, not a ratchet, a gear wrench. But we're just going to go ahead and use our ratchet with the 5/16 socket on there. And we're going to go ahead and just take these off. Now you can see that the tail light is coming looser, and it's going to be coming out soon. So to make sure it doesn't fall, make sure you're holding against it, maybe leaning against it a little bit, or putting your hand there, making sure. And now the tail light comes out, and there's some plugs back here. And the way we're going to take this plug out back here is we're going to reach behind it, and there's going to be a tab where my thumb is, and we're going to push down on this tab, and we're going to pull out at the same time. And you can see now that that's how the quarter panel tail light comes out. And we're just going to go ahead and slide this back in, and you can see how it has holes for where the threadings were last time, and we're going to want to watch out for that and make sure the threads go into the holes properly. So we're just going to go ahead and put this back in, starting with the plug. And you can see here, this plug goes to the top. And it's just going to slide in. And then you want to make sure the threading lines up with the holes. And we're going to put this all back together. We're going to take our 8mm nuts, and we're just going to put them back in. And it doesn't matter what order you put them in. And we're going to finger tighten them first to make it easier on ourselves whenever we actually use the socket. And you can go ahead, plug this plug back in as well. Just clips in. And after you do all that, go ahead and take your ratchet, the size 8mm socket on there, and we're going to tighten these up. Now because they're small nuts, they're only 8mm nuts, you don't really need to tighten them too tight. You don't want to risk snapping anything on the threading or anything like that. So just make sure it's on there tight, but don't over tighten it. And we can go ahead, put this cover back on, and you want to make sure the holes line up. You can see here the holes. Make sure the holes line up so that whenever we put the clips back in, it goes in nice. You can see now that just clips in, and we can go ahead and put this one in. And that's how you do the quarter panel light. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the tail light on the trunk as well. Now for the trunk light, it's pretty similar to the quarter panel light, and it's just going to be a few plugs here and some 8mm bolts. Sometimes there's going to be a cover depending on your model car, and if you want to take off the cover, you don't need to take it off all the way, just enough so that you can pull it down, just like we did for the quarter panel light. And we're going to go ahead and just start with the plugs and the way they come out. There's going to be a tab. I want to pull down on it. You can see that tab right there. And also another one over here. And again, these come off the same way, the light bulbs. I'm going to spin it to the left, and they work the exact same way as the other ones. There's going to be a bigger tab than the other ones, and you're going to want to make sure you fit it through. Spin it to the right, make sure that locks in place. And it's the same thing for this light bulb over here. Spin that to the left. And again, you can see one tab is bigger than the rest. And it's just going to go in the same way. Now we're going to go ahead and take it out. And the way you do that, taking your size 8mm socket with the ratchet on there, and we're going to take this off. And you can see now the entire taillight's going to come out. As you can see, everything's out, and we're just going to go ahead and replace it now. And we want to make sure it fits into the holes. All the threading lines up with the holes. And we can go ahead and just put the nuts back on there. We can go ahead and just put these nuts back on. And again, we're going to finger tighten them first, and then we can use the ratchet. And finally, we can put these plugs back in. And everything should look nice. You just successfully replaced both your quarter panel light and your trunk light. Everything should look good. That's how you do it. Thanks for watching.